Hey everybody, welcome back to another severe storm filmer weather forecast. In this forecast, we're going to be talking about a significant storm system that will likely be capable of significant severe weather as well as a winter storm. I have all that information for you right here on this forecast, but let's first start talking about the overall jet stream across much of the United States that controls our weather here. You can see we have a low pressure system centered in southern Ontario with a cold front breaching south of that as well. This is likely creating some rainfall on the eastern ends of that here with a pretty big east coast system going on there. But as we continue this time frame of that jet streams continuing to move here, and as we go through the day tomorrow, the jet stream's kind of doing something like this with a pretty big overall dip in the jet stream here. Not really anticipating below average temperatures, I would say, but I'm expecting more so average temperatures here as we go into that time frame. So good thing we're not anticipating a severe cold blast as we go into that time frame. Fingers crossed that we're done for those this year, at least this season. But as we go into this time frame here, this is when we'll begin to start watching our next storm system here, the powerful storm system for that matter. Here you can see as we go into this time frame, we're going to be watching a low stalling out over the Pacific Ocean here. Maybe it hits California, maybe not, but it will likely bring some rain regardless to the west coast. Nothing really to talk about with that though, but it really starts to get very strong as we go throughout Easter Sunday here. And you can see this is bringing a sharp trough to much of the United States here. And as a matter of fact, this looks negatively tilted at the time of recording this here. So we're going to have to watch that closely, and especially as that moves eastward into the Central Plains here. The Storm Prediction Center has a severe risk all the way up into the Ohio Valley here. This will likely, this slight risk, I wouldn't be surprised if it moved a bit further north and east because of the kinematics going more eastward on the latest model update. But I'm not the Storm Prediction Center, so I can't determine that. So, but my prediction is that it will likely shift. So we're going to need to watch that. And you can see here a very sharp dip still happening here with a very strong trough here. And still, with the surface low probably focused about here or something like that, we'll still likely have a negatively tilt to this. So we're going to need to keep our eyes on that very closely here for anyone in that warm sector and in that slight risk for that matter as we go into that time frame. Then as we go through the day on Tuesday, the severe risk will likely continue to move eastward here. Anywhere in this warm sector will likely be dealing with thunderstorms regardless, severe weather or not. The severe weather is likely going to be focused all in this circle right here. So if you're in the circle with that first lightning bolt that I'm circling there, you have a risk for severe weather throughout the day on Tuesday and Monday probably for that matter. So we're going to need to watch that closely, and please take the proper precautions if you live in those regions as well. But as we go into our Wednesday afternoon here, you can see we still have a pretty sharp trough digging into the Ohio Valley with a pretty big upper low sitting there. This will likely bring some snowfall to portions like Michigan and portions of the Northeast, and this will likely start up a winter storm up here. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. We'll dive more, taking a look at the precipitation trends in a second here. But you can see we'll likely have another storm threat down here. However, I don't think the confidence is very high we'll get a threat. So maybe just some generalized thunderstorms down here with some lightning maybe throughout the day on Wednesday here. Sorry guys, my camera went off there for a second. That was weird. But as we go into this time frame, now it's back on. You can see Thursday afternoon, the fourth time frame here. You can see we have another trough digging into the east coast of the United States with that low continuing to spin. very heavy rain off the coast of New England. And then you can see we're likely getting to get a winter storm started in the northern side of this. So, and potentially severe weather still ongoing in this Florida peninsula. Or I'm sorry, maybe some thunderstorms there. Not anticipating severe weather after Tuesday as of right now. Maybe a marginal risk, if that. But as we go throughout the day, on Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th time frame, things become a bit more uncertain, but the models are trying to focus another storm system in here with a very big bowling ball trough going on in here. These typically produce our latest tornado outbreaks here, and as a matter of fact, this one has a negative tilt to it as well. So with the warm sector, with this high up in the atmosphere, wouldn't be surprised if we had thunderstorms ongoing on the eastern end of this, and maybe even supercells that could rotate even out ahead of these. So we're going to need to watch that closely. Again, this is very uncertain. This will very much change in location. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that low was a bit further north or even a bit further south. So maybe a more so snow event. I hope not, but that's a possible scenario here with the weather, so we're going to need to watch that. But all things said, it looks like it's going to be a very big tornado outbreak if this does come to tuition here. But you can see by the time we get Saturday, the 6th time frame here, 2 days before the solar eclipse, yay, you can see we still have that bowling ball trough sitting in the west coast of the United States with probably severe thunderstorms ongoing out ahead of that, along with the potential for supercell thunderstorms out ahead of that. We're going to have to watch that as we go into that time frame. But this is the end of the model run, 240 hours out here. Things become a lot more uncertain, guys. But as we go into this time frame, things like to say that we get very active as we go into this time frame with a very, very big warm sector surging northward, as well as severe thunderstorms ongoing out ahead east of that low pressure system as well. But all indications said we have a significant storm system coming here in the next couple days, and we potentially have another one coming in the next week or so. So make sure you guys have a tornado action plan ready in case a storm hits you and potentially puts a tornado down. So that's going to be a very important thing to this as we go into that time frame. But let's dive more deep as to what type of precipitation is going on with these storm systems here. And obviously severe weather, we have thunderstorms here. But as we go throughout the day on Saturday, we could potentially have some general thunderstorms ongoing in the Ohio Valley, maybe with a shot at snow in portions of the northern Great Lakes as we go into that time frame. Nothing really noted about that, but as that continues to move off to the east, we'll likely have another round of showers and thunderstorms for the Ohio Valley. Some of those storms might be on the stronger side. We might have a strong threat for thunderstorms. Nothing severe expected, though. Maybe a marginal risk for Easter Sunday. So we're going to need to watch that. Nothing really too crazy in terms of that. But that's good news. But you can see by the time we're getting into Monday here, we already talked about the jet stream pattern with this, but you can see we'll likely have a cold front ongoing with this, with a warm front kind of extending like this with a very big warm sector here. I do think we will have some thunderstorms ongoing here. I do think those light green blobs are thunderstorms. This just showing on the long-term models here. But that's something to keep an eye on there. But as we go into Monday afternoon, all indication is that we get this cold front kind of breached over here with strong to even severe thunderstorms starting up here with a very big warm front cycling in with very warm above average temperatures. Near 70 degrees cycling northward to the Ohio Valley as we go into that time frame. But more importantly, severe weather becomes a lot more likely as we go into Monday evening here with the low pretty much as far north as Michigan as we go into this time frame. I can pinpoint this because we see that change in temperature, but you can see we'll likely have a very big cold front ongoing as we go into that time frame, with significantly strong to severe thunderstorms ongoing out ahead of that. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a hatched risk somewhere in here either. As a matter of fact, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk in this region. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see this a bit further east by the time we get into later forecast updates. But regardless, guys, we have a significant damaging wind, tornado, and hail threat. So all hazards are on the table. So if you are in a threat area, I want you guys to take necessary precautions and get that ready now as we go before into that time frame. But as we go into Tuesday, a lot of uncertainty still occurs, but the Storm Prediction Center is confident that we'll likely have that cold front breached here. We'll likely have strong storms out ahead of this again. We'll likely have another slight risk up and down the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes region down into the Gulf Coast region. So we're going to need to watch that closely. And then things become uncertain a lot more. Confidence with this is low for a severe weather event on Wednesday. And as you can see, we might still have some thunderstorms ongoing there. But other than that, I really don't see a severe weather threat as of right now. So let's turn us into the snowy side of the system here. You can see there's that cold front right there. There's that warm front. You can see the heavy snow out ahead of this warm front here. Things are starting to glitch with my drawing. I don't know why that's happening here. But we'll continue this here as we go into this time frame here. The timing of this snowfall may change, so that could potentially affect the overall precipitation type with this in the north. But all things said, we'll likely have some sort of winter storm ongoing from the northeast into the Great Lakes region. Into this time period. So something to keep an eye on there. Nor'easter is possible here with some heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder. That is crazy to hear, I know. But because it's so close to the low, the clashing of warm and cold air masses, we might have a couple rumbles of thunder. So we're going to need to watch that closely into the northeast. But the severe weather threat will likely be really died down by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. So primarily a snow threat will be acknowledged as we go into that time frame. But as we go about 210 hours or so out here, things become a lot more uncertain. But the model likes to show yet another storm system here, kind of with a cold front west of the low here. That's going to be something to keep an eye on, with a warm front north of the low. So we're going to need to watch that too, with very warm air surging northward. And that will likely allow for, I think there will likely be some showers and storms, either one out ahead of that. I'm not anticipating severe weather for this. However, that may change over the course of the next week or so. Just know that. But as we go into the day on Sunday, the 7th time frame here, things are really uncertain here. But all things said is that we have a significant cold front breached over here, along with a very big warm sector there as well. All things said, this low will likely trove eastward or northeastward, so we're going to need to watch that closely. But all things said, if this happens, this will likely be a very significant severe weather event, really with a damaging wind threat being a primary threat here. And this will likely bring the potential for some pretty significant damaging wind gusts as well. So we're going to need to watch that closely as we go into that time frame. But anyways, guys, that was the end of the model run. And I also really don't have much more to talk about. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already. Have a great night, everybody. All more updates for you tomorrow.